Taryl Jr. here, and today I'm going to show you how to buff your Schwinn bike parts from rusty to brand new looking with a great shine. It's really amazing when you're all done with it. So there's a lot of guys in these Schwinn groups, they want to gatekeep the secrets. Oh well, it's a dying trade. So I guess I'm here to show you how to do it the cheap and effective way like they do it. It looks awesome when it's done. I was amazed when I first discovered how to do it. It really doesn't cost all that much money to get set up to do it. So let's jump into it. So a quick, easy way to clean up rusty metal parts, steel parts, is to use products like Evapo-Rust. You got to let them soak though for over 24 hours. The longer you let them sit, the better it comes out. I did this one, had slight rusting. The inside's still a little rusty, but these cleaned up nicely. The whole thing really cleaned up good. But you had to let it soak. This stuff's kind of pricey. It's around $30 for this little jug. So you can let it sit in a container like I have. And then you flip it over, you flip it around, let it sit, rinse it off, and then it comes out looking pretty good. That's a quick, easy way to do it. Otherwise, you could buff it, which is what I have here, is this buffer. I went to Harbor Freight. It was around $100 for this 120 volt central machinery 6-inch buffer with a 1/2-inch arbor. So yeah, wasn't really all that bad. And then you have to buy a bunch of assorted wheels in order to get everything to work the way you need it to. So I'll go over the process of how to do it and in what order to do it. Another thing, there's lots of different grades of steel out there. There's stainless steel, which is used a lot in like restaurant equipment and stuff like that. And then there's just regular steel, which is used on a lot of things. And then there's like aluminum, and there's, you know, tons of different metals. A lot of them can be mixed in together. A lot of different grades, so it's kind of hard to tell what you're getting. A good way to check is if you take a magnet and it sticks pretty good to whatever it is, chances are that is regular steel. When it comes to stainless, a lot of the time it won't stick, or at least not as much. So that's stainless there, doesn't stick to the magnet. Aluminum it won't stick to either. So if it's sticking, chances are it's steel, like this part we're going to buff today. I'm going to take this from rusty, beat up looking, to brand new. It's going to look like this when it's all done. Another good way to clean up steel that's rusty, like this, has a little part here of rust, a little sticky spot. They make this stuff for cleaning guns, which we got off our buddy Dennis over at Bucket's Garage. What's up, Dennis? So he gave us a ton of this stuff. It works great. It's really soft on metals, and it takes off rust really, really well. So you just rub that on there. And look, that rust piece is gone. It's good for like light rust, pitting. You just want to clean it up real quick. Now this stuff works great for that. So I have my 6-inch buffer here, and what I do is I dedicate different wheels to different things. That way it's easier, you don't mix compounds. So the first step is you want to hit it with the wire wheel, which this is a brass wire wheel because it's easier on the metal. It won't scuff it up. It's not real abrasive. Then you hit it with the nylon abrasive wheel to kind of scuff it up, but it doesn't scuff it up too bad because it's nylon. It doesn't wear it down like a regular wheel does that's more abrasive. So you use that, but you got to be careful because you can wear off logos and things like that. I'm sure you've probably seen where on the end of the pedal there's a Schwinn logo, and if it's in decent shape, a lot of the time those guys can spare the logo. So you got to go easy with this wheel here because it will wear it down if you grind on it too hard. So you just want to kind of lightly hit it just to scuff it up. And then from there you go to the 6-inch Sisal wheel, they call it. S-I-S-A-L. It's a Sisal buffing wheel, and you want to use the black compound that you can get at Harbor Freight. I think that stuff was like $5 when I bought it. So the black on the Sisal wheel, you buff it, then you hit it with 6-inch green compound on the cotton wheel. You could use a smaller wheel or a 6-inch, but either way. As long as it's a cotton wheel, 6-inch with the green compound. And then the last step is to hit it with a cotton wheel with no compound to clean off all the compound that you've had on it. So the wire wheel, then the nylon abrasive wheel, then the 6-inch Sisal wheel with black compound, cotton wheel with green compound, and then you round it out with the cotton wheel with no compound. And the results are amazing. All right, we're all set up on the 6-inch buffer. The next thing you're going to want to make sure you do is wear one of these clear protective masks, because there's going to be a lot of stuff flying off these discs, and they're going to be hitting you in the face and landing on your shirt and all that stuff. Stuff will be flying back here. You just want to be aware of that before you start buffing. It does get a little dirty. All right, so the first step we're going to want to do is hit it with the wire wheel. You're going to want to disassemble all the little parts off of here. You may even want to wear gloves, because this is going to be spinning, could hit your hand. That's up to you, but for safety purposes. So yeah, let's dive in. It's already adding a little shine to it, just hitting it with the wire wheel. All right, again, you want to go easy on the lettering to try to preserve it. Some spots can be hard to get at on the insides, like in here. I'm sure you could probably buy like a brass hand wire brush and just brush it by hand on the inside. But I'm not really looking to go crazy. I mean, it will look nicer if you do that, but it'll be good enough. Once it's on the bike, you're not going to see that anyway. So the next step is the nylon abrasive wheel. And you're going to want gloves for this part, because it's going to get hot. The more friction you're putting on this stuff, its parts start to get hot. Same with when you go to buff it. You're definitely going to want to wear gloves. You can also use pliers to hold pieces, but you really want to hold down on them because you don't want it ripping them out of your hands. So let's hit it with the nylon abrasive wheel. This is just to kind of scuff it up more and take some of that coating off so that it buffs better. If you got little marks in there, black marks and stuff from use, it'll help kind of grind them out. But you don't want to go crazy because it will grind down the metal too. So just kind of scuff it up lightly. See, like on here, this nut is really chewed up. Got a lot of burrs and stuff on it. You can clean it up now with this abrasive wheel. Kind of take some of them burrs off. You don't want to go too crazy because you'll change the size of it. You just want to kind of scuff it up, clean it up a little. It's very tedious, time consuming. It's kind of therapeutic. Definitely takes time though if you want it to look good. You can't be in a hurry. Now you got to be careful with the lettering. You just want to hit it very lightly. The more you do it, the more you'll get a hang of it. Some of these round pieces I've actually put in a drill so that it'll spin it true instead of having it, you know, offset. Sometimes it'll grind it unevenly depending on what it is. As long as you rotate it and you don't hit it too crazy, you'll be alright. Just want to scuff it up a little. Same with the threads, you got to be real easy with them. You could even leave the threads alone if you don't want to mess with them. Just go easy, gentle. Alright, I got these all buffed with the nylon abrasive wheel. Already starting to look a little shiny. Now here's where it starts to really bring it out, is we're going to hit it with the black compound on the 6-inch Sisal wheel. I got these wheels on Amazon, Scamazon, or Fleabay, you can look. This stuff I got at Harbor Freight, like I said before. Same with the green, also at Harbor Freight. They got a bunch of different ones for plastic, things like that. So hit them up. They're like real cheap, like $5 a piece. They may have gone up in the last time I bought one, from the time, you know what I'm trying to say. All right, so yeah, hit it with a little black and then we're gonna buff it. This part gets a little messy, so you're going to want to have your visor. This part's also time consuming, because if you want it to look good, you really got to sit here and keep going over it a bunch of times. So you got to have patience. It's going to leave a little bit of like a film look on there. That's normal, because you're going to buff it again with the green and then you're going to clean it off with the cotton wheel with no compound. So if it starts looking a little dirty, don't be alarmed, that's just part of the process. All right, all buffed up. Hit it with the green compound now. This one's a little more time consuming on the green because you really got to sit and buff it for a while. Yep, sit here for a while and Jimmy buff it until it's nice and shiny. Sometimes that happens too, it'll rip it out of your hand. That's why you gotta wear the proper safety equipment. Really starting to shine it up. Look at that finish. Starting to look like chrome, baby, yeah! I haven't even got to the last step yet. All right, we're almost to the finish line. It's starting to look pretty good. So now we're gonna knock off all the buffing compound with just a regular cotton wheel with nothing on it. This is just gonna kind of clean everything up. So here's the final step. All right, there it is, all polished up. Looks brand new. Looks like chrome, don't it? Truly amazing how it goes from rusty metal to polished looking chrome. With those simple steps and a little bit of time, you can really make it look nice. Now there's some guys that can really work wonders. I mean, I'm pretty basic level at it, but I got a lot of my stuff looking pretty nice because of these tips that I learned. Now I'm sure there's a lot of different ways to preserve the finish after you get done buffing them, because I've had some stuff that has rusted over again with use, like some pedals and stuff I've done. Once you're out using it and there's moisture in the air and things like that, it can rust over again and then you got to buff it again. So I'm sure there's lots of different tricks and tips people have to preserve the finish on there once you buff it. So I'm just going to spray mine with some clear coat. Now this here, this handbrake, I actually buffed that, was from a bike that was in a fire. It was all burned up, it was rusty, it looked terrible. So I actually was able to bring that back and make it look brand new again when it was in horrible, complete, awful, terrible shape. And it's still shiny, so it will last too on its own. I'm gonna try spraying a little clear coat on here just to see if it'll help kind of preserve the finish a little longer than without having anything on there. So let's see how this does. What are your tips and tricks for preserving the finish after you buff things? I'm sure there's a lot of master buffers out there. Let me know in the comments section. All right, grass rats, that's all there is to know about buffing stuff. Well, I guess there's a lot more to know than just that, but that's the basics. You can take some dirty, rusty, crappy looking metal and shine it up to look like chrome again without having to re-chrome it. For $100 and some, get yourself one of these Harbor Freight buffers, or you can buy a nicer one, that's up to you, and get some wheels, get the compounds, do it in that order, and you'll be in business. And that's all I got to say about that. You take the knowledge and run with it. And as always, there's your dinner.